Hey, welcome to the 24/7 Marriage Podcast. I'm Javier.
I'm Shannon.
Seriously?
Yeah. You want me to be somebody else?
And with excitement.
Oh,
Hey, welcome to 24/7 Marriage Podcast. I'm Javier.
I'm Shannon.
And this is coming out around at New Year's. So
that sounded very Mouseketeers to me, but
Hap-
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, and hope that you had an incredible Christmas and that you applied all the things that we had talked about. And Christmas was
In 2024,
incredible.
yeah.
And
that you put 2020, that you put 24/7 Marriage out of business because everybody's just killing it at marriage. And we don't need to do boot camps anymore.
No, you guys
everybody's
or
thriving.
They went through Christmas and they need more help now because they survived Christmas together.
That's okay. That's what we're here
for. So happy New Year. This will be a little bit of a shorter podcast than our normal. We're just doing a touch base and kind of talk a little bit about, and we'll probably do it at the beginning of the year, talk a little bit more about how do you prepare for the new year?
Yeah.
How do you get ready when we're talking about your marriage?
Yeah.
And
the next podcast after this is a special interview with your son-in-law. So you guys are going to be just
that's coming up.
Teeing that up. I don't know what you guys are going to talk about, but I know it's going to be good because when Freddie's around, it's a great time. But let me ask you 3 things that you're looking forward to, and they can do with anything. What 3 things are you looking forward to in 2025?
You start. I haven't even thought about those. I haven't even thought about that yet.
That's why
I should be.
That's why I'm asking you.
But this is we're recording this before the 31st. We're recording this in advance, and I haven't gotten there yet. Like,
why do you have to go there?
Okay, you give yours.
The thing is that in asking a pop quiz question is that it's just whatever's on top of mind. So in 2025, our grandson will turn 1 year old. So I'm looking forward to that first birthday because that's super big milestone.
Yeah.
It will be our 4th year on the road with the Marriage Lab. And what I'm most looking forward to is building out the 24/7 Marriage Outpost.
So if you haven't heard, that was going to be one of mine. So one of mine is that we're in the beginning phases of talking about and planning for the 24/7 Marriage Ministry and Boot Camp Outpost. Call it an outpost because it's not just a center, but it's a place where people are going to be able to come, be invested into in their marriages. Boot camps will be held amongst marriage intensives, and so it's a place where we believe it can be the front line to bring marital healing and restoration. So yes, I'm excited about that. There's parts of that I'm excited about this next year. We're doing a little bit of a hybrid with a marriage lab as we're going across the country, but we're also going to be potentially in Prescott, Arizona for a longer period of time, and then going out from there to be on the road in Missouri and Tennessee and Texas, a couple other places.
Yeah.
Colorado, California. And so we will be. So that's going to be exciting to kind of see what that actually looks like. And I don't know. I mean, I can tell you what's going to be hard for me is that, as we transition some of the things and we're not maybe out as much, that's going to be tough for me because I enjoy the Marriage Lab has been on the road and I enjoy how we have been doing that piece of the ministry. It's not the whole thing, but
tough for me.
I know this is something we're going to need counseling over.
Maybe we could bring Dave and Ashley on to walk us through.
Probably need to because it's more of talking about Dave and Ashley Willis from Naked Marriage, in EXO, and it's because we are just wired differently. Like I love change and I love things new and always in different places and doing ministry that way. Like 24/7 Marriage doesn't change if we're not on the road with it. Everything remains the same. We're just not traveling to the locations and all that. But we're still going to be doing that probably like part-time or a little less than that throughout the year.
We decided with the team that there will always be an East Coast boot camp. So whether we do a Tennessee or even go further East Coast.
That's not East, that's South.
Well, Southeast, like that part of the map. We'll always do a boot camp there and then probably always one back in California, but the majority of them will be at our new Ministry Center Outpost location here in Prescott.
And we're looking at Prescott, Arizona. So you might be first to hear that. That's what we're currently looking at to see the doors that open for that. So if you know anybody in this area who wants to partner with us and whether donate, give property, whatever it is, we're for it. I got to go cough.
Just anybody who has to a piece of property they just want to give us. Are you okay? Do we need to pause the podcast?
No,
we
good.
Can hit pause.
I'm coming back. I got a tickle in my throat, so let's see how this goes.
Yeah, so those are the things. Yeah, I'm done living on the road. It's a lot of work, and it seems that it's harder to get things done. And when we're in a permanent location, I'm hoping to zip tie Javi to a chair and get some work.
Yeah, it is a different. And if you haven't experienced what we have, it's hard to explain. But yeah, it is definitely is a different.
Some full-time families.
Yeah, absolutely.
They understand.
We want to talk about briefly just setting the stage. Honestly, I think setting the stage more for in the beginning of the year, what we're going to talk about on the podcast is, it is the sense that this is the ending, and so of 2024, and I don't know what the year has been like for you. Maybe it's been a good year. I've heard a lot of people say it's been a really tough year, a difficult year, and I get it. We've had ourselves ups and downs, difficulties, and also good. And seeing God just heal so many marriages, which has been incredible. So even in the midst of 2024, I want you to look back and mark the moments of 2024 that have been good, that have been fruitful. And maybe you have to search a little bit because you have been so focused and the difficulty or the struggles have been amplified or they seem bigger. But I think that every one of us can find the good in this past year, but also recognize like, hey, this was hard, and mark those moments. This was a difficult season, but God. And this is what we experienced because God was in the middle of it. Or maybe you're still in it, but you've seen some change, or you're not sure what 2025 will look like. Everybody listening is coming into this from a different place. But I think you can prepare for this next year to be able to set yourselves up to thrive, to find healing, to further grow in your marriage, to further find healing. Whatever it is, you make a decision today how January 1st and the rest of 2025 will look like.
Yeah. Well, and I believe that this could be for a lot of marriages, their year, where they're ready to make hard decisions. They're ready to sign up for that boot camp. They're ready to call the counselor. They're ready to start coaching.
Yeah.
Because enough is enough. Your life is as the Bible says, your life is but a vapor. It is here 1 second and gone the next. And if you have kids, it seems like everything goes in a flash.
Yeah.
Javi and I, we always talk about how we don't feel our age. We don't know how we are going to be married.
32 years.
32 years this year. And where did the time go? We were that couple that had 2 little girls.
32 years with me. That is exhausting.
What are you telling me?
Just saying.
So at least you understand it.
Yeah.
So don't let another year, don't let 2025 go by and not have done anything. Do the work. I'm telling you, try. Make the ask. Make the plea. Call the counselor, call the therapist, sign up for a boot camp, download a free resource.
Yeah.
Do something that is forward moving for your marriage.
Yeah. How you begin this year says a lot about how you end the year.
Yes.
And again, I know shifts can be made at 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. Yes, absolutely. We fail at times to prepare for what is next. So like you're going to prepare, maybe you already have for our summer vacation of 2025. We're going to go here. We're going to do this. And you put a lot of effort into it. And people put more effort into that than they do planning for the success of their marriage. They'll go to vacation, broken, falling apart, angry with each other, put on the happy faces, go on vacation, have a great time, forget about everything, drown their sorrows in whatever, in the beach or in whatever. and then they're still in the same place. So what we want to encourage you, and we're going to talk about this more in detail, is what will you do to begin to paint the picture of what 2025 will look like? And here's what we're going to talk about on our next podcast, is that success leaves clues in marriage. So if you've experienced success in your marriage in this past year, moments of it, maybe in the middle of a difficulty, there have been glimpses of hope. Success leaves clues. What was happening in your marriage during those times in 2024 when you felt connected, when communication was good, when intimacy was good, when you and the kids and everybody was getting along well, you felt listened to, you felt heard? What was happening during that time when you were doing well and when you felt connected? What was happening? What were you doing? If that was a moment of success for you, that success leaves clues, meaning how can you put those things into practice consistently? So we're going to talk more about that, about looking at those moments when you felt connected and things were good. Like, okay, well, how do we continue doing that? Because some of you had the highs and then you hit the lows. And some of you stayed in the lows. You pitched your tent there. I'm telling you, 2025 can be a year of healing and restoration because we know what God can do.
Yeah.
But you have to do your part. So take some time today on the last day of the year to say, a year from now, on December 31st of 2025, this is what I want to be said about my marriage, about our life, about how we're our children, our future. This is what I want to be said, the story to be. And now how do you work backwards and let that unfold so you experience that? And it won't be easy and it will take work. But how do you begin doing that and writing a vision, thinking through what it will be? And we pray at the beginning of the year. I fast for like 21 days or so. And I ask God, what is something you have for us? What's also a word you have for us? A word going into this next year. In the past, I've had words like arrow, which meant like straight, go forth. Like I've had words of rest.
I hope your word this year's fire.
Fire, focus.
I pray fire come down from heaven.
Fire and focus. Yes. My ADD can kick in. But I want to encourage you, like, take a moment at the end of this year to reflect on where you've been and to set your eyes on where you desire to be, even if you can't see it. It doesn't make sense. You have no idea how you're going to get there. Scripture says people perish for lack of
knowledge.
Yeah, and vision, and being able to see where you're going, and that's really what, like, we want you to have a picture of what the future could be.
Yeah.
Even if you don't know how it is possible in this moment.
And we strongly believe. I'm going to share a testimony in attending a boot camp. We get so many people that call and want to coach with us, and we no longer have margin to coach people anymore. But if you're going to spend the money on coaching, just come to a boot camp. You will get more bang for your buck because you will get the whole 24/7 marriage team. You don't just get Javi and I, you get Ann and Steve, who are two of the most epic people on the planet, who have more marriage experience than we do. And they come with humility and grace and so much love for our boot campers. They fervently pray over every boot camp attendee that comes, like, I want to say a week or two before boot camp. So they are continually praying for you. And we believe there's nothing magical that we do. We don't sprinkle fairy dust on you at a boot camp, but we believe that we can set you up for success. We can give you tools. And there's a lot of couples, and I'm being really honest with you. There's a lot of couples that come in very apprehensive about boot camp, and they're very nervous. Is this going to work? My husband doesn't really want to be here. I didn't kind of fully disclose to him what we were doing. And it happens a lot. But this is one couple that came and the life-changing experience that they're seeing. As we arrived at boot camp full of anticipation and nerves, any reservation we had about sharing, connecting, or how the weekend would go quickly melted away when we were greeted by Steve with a warm hug, Anne with welcome bags and name tags, Shannon with a big hug, and calling us by our name, and Javier with a genuine, welcoming smile and handshake. We felt love immediately and so appreciated knowing the team had memorized our names and had been praying for us for weeks ahead of time. It was like walking into a family member's home. The practical exercises, the object lessons, the homework, the intentional hard discussions, and intercessory prayer were so helpful for us during boot camp. The Spirit of Jesus was in that place, and our marriage is forever changed because of the restoration work you do and the Lord's calling you have for marriages. Thank you for the investment and genuine care for us, Amanda.
Yeah.
And I love that testimony because it is about showing up and putting your money where your mouth is and saying, you know what? We've been in a really hard season, and we're going to take this weekend and we're going to dedicate it to our marriage, and we're going to dedicate our marriage to God, and we're going to lean in. We're going to say we don't have everything figured out. We're going to lay our pride down, and we're going to learn some new tools, and we're going to learn what it means to be consistent going home.
Yeah.
Because that's the key.
And so maybe that's a big step you're going to take here in 2025.
Yeah.
So again, this is going to be a shorter podcast. We want you to get to your celebrations and all whatever you're going to do today. Football. But I want you to remember, I don't want you to remember. I want you to commit today to take a moment to pray with your spouse. And maybe that's not something you normally do. You should start doing that on a consistent basis. Pray with your spouse and pray about God, thanking God for this past year. Again, even if it was difficult and it wasn't what you anticipated and there's been some tough moments, pray. Thank God for your spouse. Thank God for who they are. That can shift things in your marriage just right there. Thank Him for this year ahead. And just pray together, giving this past year, releasing things and making a decision to how you begin this next year. But begin it with God, honestly, and do it, pray and do something. Just take a few minutes with your spouse and just to celebrate the wins, right? The moments that you shared as a couple this past year of what was good and what was refreshing and the progress that you have made, and find something. Even if you think there's nothing, I guarantee you can find something. Just open your eyes and look at one another and where you've been differently. And then also reflect on what's been challenging and identify those things. And so that way you're both aware of those things and say, as we move forward, we're going to make some commitments in this next year. And then as we go into the next year, we'll talk about things you can do to plan, prepare, goals you can make, conversations you can have, things you decide to do at the beginning of the year to make 2025 the most epic marriage year. That means the most epic family life, personal life in every arena. Not perfect, but progressing and moving forward, and experiencing the fullness of what God has for you. Some of you just need to get out of the way in 2025 and surrender and let go. And I hope you do that starting today.
Yes. I'm excited.
What do you want to add?
That was good. I don't want to add anything.
It'll be a lot of transition and change for us in this year. So I'm excited, but I'm also a little, because a lot of it I don't know. I don't know how it's all going to happen, but God. I don't know how everything's going to fall into place, but we trust that there are people that are connected with us and partner with us and listening that want to help us see marriages healed and restored and create a place for couples, for them, for marriages to go to where they can experience that healing and freedom.
Yeah.
And come on, let's do this together.
Let's do it.
So we're grateful, thankful for you guys. You want anything else? And
we really, really hope to see you at a boot camp this year. 2 of our boot camps are already sold out. So those are gone.
No, I think I think as of right now, there's still a little room in Cambria.
It'll
maybe 2 spots.
By the time this podcast comes out, it'll probably be sold out.
Well,
so
check, make sure.
Yeah. Yep. But we do have another California one at the end of the year. But there's 5 other boot camps for you to come to. We can't wait to meet you. We can't wait to give you a hug. We can't wait to go on this journey with you and see healing, restoration come to your marriage.
Yeah. And remember, we are a partner-supported ministry. So the end of the year is very big for us, very important for us as we try to meet our end-of-year budgets as a nonprofit so that we can impact more marriages, that we can see more couples tearing up divorce papers, saying we're recommitting to one another and to our family and protecting the sanctity and the value and the worth of marriage. And so would you partner with us by going to 247marriage.org? You can click on the donate button there. You can give, partner with us on a monthly basis or a one-time gift. Your monthly supports us all through the year, which is really important to us. So we're looking for 1,000 people who would give $24 a month, or a one-time gift of $247. So would you commit to that? Would you join us in this? We're forever grateful because we love doing this work and seeing marriages healed and restored. And because we don't have to do it, but we get to do it.
We get to do it.
Yeah. So we love you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy 2025. We can't wait to see you in this next year. And remember, always in marriage, you don't have to.
You get to.
Have an incredible night. Be safe. Thank you for listening to the 24/7 Marriage Podcast. Help us expand our reach by rating and leaving us a review on iTunes. Make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss an episode. For more information on the work we do and how to support 24/7 Marriage, head on over to 247marriage.org and click on Partner with Us. Until next week, remember, in marriage you don't have to, you get to.